Santa. Thank you for the dolls and the pencils and the fish. It's Easter now, so I hope I didn't wake you. But honest, it is an emergency. There's a crack in my wall. Aunt Sharon says it's just an ordinary crack, but I know it's not, because at night there's voices. So please, could you send someone to fix it? Or a policeman, or...
Hi, welcome to Life is Mimi, Beyond the Secret. And today we're going to take on a special request about the Age of Aquarius. We are at the end of an age. The baby has been born. When we change the calendar from before Christ to after Christ, that's when we entered into the constellation of Pisces. The story is in the universe. That's why it's been watched. That's why buildings were aligned with it. That's why you have pyramids and sphinxes, and it's man who makes the stories, okay? So it's really great. That's how the fire is kept burning, as the Zoroastrians would say. And the story's been told in many ways, but the Popol Vuh told it very well and even explained that as you read the Popol Vuh and layers come off, you come to recognize some of these truths, and then what the Popol Vuh means to you changes. It's layers. It's changing as you change. And it's really great. That's the thing with the snakes, snakes shed skin as they change. So this is what that's all about. And so the stories in the constellations for humanity, and humanity is the baby, so we're at the end of an age, and this is why architecture in the past was aligned with the stars and the seasons, because it's layers. And even though that's what it tells you for the year, it tells you something else when you're looking at the constellations. And it wasn't what we think it was, just because today we know that, we call it in science one thing, and they called it magic, 50,000 years ago or whatever. It's still the same thing. It's just said differently. It's still the same feeling. It's just being said differently. And this is the Tower of Babel. So you got to dig through all that, all those perceptions, all that babble, and discover. So one of the things you learn in science is all Fibonacci sequence. And so when you start to look at that and you start to realize there is no fiction, so you go back and start looking at, well, what is the deal with the zodiac and all that stuff, and the big Age of Aquarius, and the whole love generation was all about that. So you step back and look at it. So when we changed the calendar from BC to AD, the baby had been born. The baby had gone into the birth canal. And this was manifested as, the beginning of coming together as one, the central bank creations, the trains, crisscrossing across countries, the making of roads, that unite everyone, the communications, the phones, the world wars were, pushing that baby out. And that the next generation, the baby boomers is what they're called today, but then they were called the love generation. And they were all about the love. Let's make love, not war, no more war. And so, they had their own objective viewpoint, but that was, You're stepping back and looking at this. So it's the love generation. And then in the 70s, there was this plethora of Broadway hits and movies about the Bible. Jesus Christ Superstar, the Hair, which is all about, the Age of Aquarius and dropping the labels of, it's all up here. Uh, Joseph and the Coat of Many Technicolors. There were just a lot of them, big Broadway hits. And later became movies and very much loved and sung throughout households. And then came the 80s, pure imagination. We got Fraggle Rock going on. We got, Sesame Street. We're going wild with our imaginations. We got Star Wars coming in at the end of the 70s that carries us into the 80s with this dreaming about doing wonderful things, and magnificent things, and then digging into your imagination through video games. And that comes from the Dungeons and Dragons and the war games and all these other great things, and the computers. The computers started coming in the movies. And then here come the superheroes, of the 2000s. And then we suffer less and less with the day-to-day living and more about what's going on in our minds and how we feel about things, and this is the baby growing up. It's okay. It really is okay. And it's making sure the child knows, it must be right-headed thinking. You can't think like that. Your thoughts make your reality, and we all darn know it. There's not one of you that hadn't heard about The Secret. There's not one of you, that hasn't heard about New Thought or New Wave, or, it's from the love generation, amplified it. And then John Lennon started carrying on MLK's dream that had come true. It came true. Okay, and then he's pushed it out even further. And imagine, focusing on that message that Neville was preaching, that Murphy was preaching. And we learn more and more about our bodies, what they do, how they do it. And this manifests, we want to know, we want to understand. So you've learned there's a heart in your body, and it has a brain. It's the first thing that's made in a fetus after an impregnation. It all comes from love, all of it. That is a physical manifestation of how thoughts come to be, is a pregnancy. Man represents consciousness, and woman represents the creative force. Divine love. You make the baby, and then you expect the baby with hope, happy expectation. This baby's going to be great. Faith, this baby's going to be great. Hope, this baby's going to be great. And love, I love this baby. I know this baby's going to be the most beautiful baby ever. And then here's the baby. Most beautiful baby ever. This is the physical manifestation of what we do in our thoughts and minds. So, as Pisces, we're playing the role of Moses and learning to, it swims both ways. You can swim both ways. In science, that's DNA. It's the photons. It's you're the one molding them and shaping them with your imagination. Okay? You praise your imagination, you love on your imagination, and you give thanks to God for revealing it all to you. Okay, it's there. Your imagination doesn't care. He's making whatever you want, whatever you're giving attention to. It's there, you know. And you just have to focus with God for it to reveal itself. Okay? God wants to give it to you. Alright? He does. But if there's a bunch of muck in the way, you made a dam. Don't be the industrious little beaver, even though he's wonderful. Not in your heart, he's not. He doesn't belong there. Okay? He has his role to play. You have your role to play, and that's keeping this open channel flowing between the heart and your brain and the one in your head. And, you see this more and more as people are walking away from the hate and the violence and the attacks from each other. And, I really don't give a shit. We really don't. I don't give a shit. What you think about him is this helping? Yes. Okay, good. Then it's good. Let's rise up. And people are, and seeing it's only fools who see, color and have a bunch of angst about it. You're a fool. And I don't mind telling you you are. And if you can't figure it out, then have some more pain and suffering. But this is about the end of pain and suffering. And so it's fighting those last, 4 big monsters, like in good omens. There is no illness. That's God. He's been doing what you thought. It's all God. It's all good. Love it. Thank you for showing you that. It's bringing you your good somehow. It's all good. And pray for others. And look at it. It's just wonderful. And everybody's working within their framework of their beliefs. And it all comes together in this beautiful puzzle that's constantly changing. So we're exiting the Age of Aquarius, which the love generation amplified. That we're at the end of an age. This is the dawning of a new age. And this age is going to be about love. And that seed got planted well and good. And the Bible about that, that you're Jesus walking this road, that you're Joseph with wearing the coat of many colors. This is who you are. Recognize this. And it moves forward. And more these people teaching, about how to think and think like this, walk this way. And we all loved that in the 70s. Walk like an Egyptian. Da, 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 da. And we loved the Egyptians because the Egyptians made it through the hell and horror that had befallen the system that they were a part of, and they were all brothers. But the Elamites fell and started attacking the brothers. And then Nebuchadnezzar couldn't help himself. He fell, and that's when they broke that whole trade love affair going on between all these peoples there. And it was bound to happen. It was, you started thinking ugly about your brothers, but Egypt remained strong because they were directly involved with the Jews. And Egypt was ruled by the Greeks, the Ptolemies. And so they prayed for Pharaoh. And Pharaoh got the answers he needed. There's great famine coming, dude. You need to store up some grain. It'll be all right. I'm going to make you so fat in these next 7 years, it'll be just fine. So they did, and they got through that. But then came the sea peoples, and these were the remnants of the Elamite armies, because the Elamites fell too. And all of these people were mercenaries, pirates, became Vikings, and they just came and destroyed trade. It was one of those that if we can't have it, nobody can have it. We're going to take this. We don't know what to do with it now. Oh, well, and a great equalizing was going on because an age was ending and a new age was beginning. And it wasn't that just a few could have the bronze and get the tin to do that. Now it was iron. We can all use iron, and it comes in like that. That's how it comes. It's an equalizer. And when an equalizing goes on, then, people get upset who is sitting on top. So that's what's going on right now in the world. An equalizing is going on. And the people have been benefiting by being at the top or crying about it. And of course, they're getting young and innocents or people who've been downtrodden and saying, hey, 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 they're the ones who did it to you. Come on, come on, come on. So they can try to stay on top. It's just the devil talking. It's just the devil talking. Laugh at it. Say, I know who you are. You little devil, you. You're trying to be my adversary. I don't think so. And this is what's happening right now, is people are being called to learn these things double time. The ones born at the end of the love generation and the generation after are double timing it. They're getting called. They're getting tinnitus. They're getting whatever. Something driving them crazy. They painted themselves in a hole, whatever. And they're getting led to these. And in turn, are discovering, okay, I get it. But really, can I really change other people? And that's starting to build momentum. Yes, you can. Yes, you can if you love them. Now, if you just want to think they're shits, then that shit's going to fall on you. That's how this works. That's called law of attraction. That's called everyone is you pushed out. That's how you instantly know you've been judging them maligning something. Somebody's going to show up to show you. That's what's the beautiful thing about this. You get your mind right, and then you move forward. And this is the last 600 years. So it's this setup right now. All these people that are entering into the state of Jesus, of Joshua, of walking this earth with God and helping others see it, and teaching it to them in their own way and pointing out it doesn't matter if you believe in Odin. That's fine. The story's there too. It's okay if you call him Odin. One of the greatest scenes ever, of course, from my perception, of course, Doctor Who, and it was Matt Smith's entry into the Doctor Who series. And it begins with his future companion, Amy, as a little girl. And she's praying because there's a crack in her wall. And there's voices. And it bothers her. She's quite calm and cool. And she's praying to Santa Claus. And Santa Claus is just another way of saying your imagination. God. That's all it is. And it's a beautiful little scene. So the Age of Aquarius is when the children born during that 2,600 year time frame, from the time we enter into it and until we leave it, every child born then will already have all this incorporated into their being. They will literally be the children of the sun, the ones that all walk together as Jesus. It will be just like it was before they fell, when it was the Elamites and Nebuchadnezzar and the Babylonians and the Egyptians, and they were all one great big network, and that's how it was across the world thousands and thousands of years ago, and those are the people who built the Sphinx, and they're the ones who put a whole treasure in there for us to discover. And we're discovering it now at the end of Pisces. And it will fully reveal itself before the end of the age. And that is the library that will carry forward. That's the story we carry forward, is the story of creation. So throughout history, during all of this, BC, AD, you go back and look, the diaspora has been going on. And what that means is, a scattering. And this manifests itself as migrants that move into new lands, but they take the teachings with them and they start a new life. And then when people ask them, how do you do it? They share the teachings. And this is how it manifests itself and goes out around the world in different ways. So I hope this helps. It's a lot of fun, really, to understand all of it and to see it, that, we literally are Johnny Appleseed going around scattering seed, and that every time people have been pushed out of somewhere through natural disasters or whatever, they're bringing with them a story, a lot of stories, but they're bringing usually culture stories and myths and creations and things like that. And it's important for them to understand those aren't myths. There is no fiction. It's a beautiful story. It's the story of you. And you help them rise up and see that it doesn't matter what culture you are. The story's there. It's everywhere. I mean, there's only one. Just being told in a billion million different ways. No two ways the same, but still the same story. I hope this helps. Blessings to you. And thank you. Thank you for being you.
And the times we had, would have had. Never had. In your dreams, they'll still be there. The Doctor and Amy Pond. And the days that never came. The cracks are closing. But they can't close properly till I'm on the other side. I don't belong here anymore. I think I'll skip the rest of the rewind. I hate repeats. Live well. Love, Rory. Bye-bye, Bond.
People of the earth stood waiting, watching as the ships came one by one, setting fire to the sky as they landed, carrying to the world children of the sun, children of the sun. All at once came a sound from the inside. Then a beam of light hit the ground. Everyone felt the sound of their heartbeat. Every man, every woman, every child. They passed the limits of imagination to the door to the world of another time. And on the journey of 1,000 lifetimes, with the children of the sun, they started to climb.